Have you ever walked through your front door after an exhausting, frustrating day, plastered a fake smile on your face, and greeted your dog with a high-pitched, enthusiastic, "Who's a good boy?" On the surface, you are performing the role of the happy owner. You are saying the right words and making the right gestures, but then you notice it. Your dog doesn't jump with their usual vigor. Instead, they hesitate. They might lower their head slightly, avert their gaze, or even walk to the other side of the room. You tell yourself they're just tired, but deep down you feel exposed. The truth is, you've just been audited by the most sophisticated emotional lie detector on the planet. Most of us spend our lives believing that we are in control of the messages we send to our dogs. We think that if we hide our sadness, mask our anger, or project a forced sense of authority, our dogs will buy the performance. But science and evolutionary biology tell a far more humbling story. Your dog is not just watching your actions, they are reading your internal reality. They are tuned into a frequency of communication that humans lost touch with thousands of years ago. While we rely on the clumsy, often deceptive tool of language, dogs exist in a world of unvarnished biological truth. They are constantly monitoring your heart rate, your hormonal shifts, and the microscopic tension in your muscles. To your dog, you are a living broadcast of information, and they are always tuned in. Today, we are going to explore the 4 specific ways your dog knows exactly when you're faking it. We will decode how they smell your hidden stress, how they see through your forced commands, and why your inauthenticity is actually the greatest threat to the trust you've spent years building. And the final revelation in this journey will completely change the way you think about leadership in the eyes of your canine companion. Biological truth. The primary reason you can never truly lie to your dog is that you are physically incapable of hiding your scent. As humans, we are visual creatures. We believe what we see. But for a dog, the nose is the primary organ of truth. While a human nose has about 5 million scent receptors, your dog possesses upwards of 300 million. Their olfactory bulb, the part of the brain dedicated to processing smells, is 40 times larger than ours. To put this in perspective, if a human can smell a teaspoon of sugar in a cup of coffee, a dog can smell that same teaspoon of sugar in 2 Olympic-sized swimming pools. When you feel an emotion, whether it is the sharp spike of anger or the slow, heavy fog of depression, your body undergoes a chemical transformation. You release cortisol, adrenaline, and a cocktail of pheromones that leak through your pores and into the air around you. You might think you're hiding your anxiety from your dog before a big meeting, but to them, you are standing in a thick cloud of fear scent. Research has shown that dogs can detect the microscopic scent markers of stress in human sweat and breath with near-perfect accuracy. When you fake a calm demeanor while your internal chemistry is screaming, your dog experiences a profound sense of cognitive dissonance. They see a person standing still, but they smell a person ready for fight or flight. This mismatch is deeply unsettling for them. In the wild, an unpredictable leader is a dangerous leader. When your scent contradicts your actions, your dog doesn't think you're being brave. They think you're becoming unstable. They aren't judging your emotions. They are reacting to the lack of clarity. If you want to build genuine trust, you must realize that your dog already knows how you feel. The most honest thing you can do is acknowledge it, because in their world, the scent of the soul is never wrong. Silent signals. If scent is the foundation of canine truth, then body language is the structure built upon it. Humans are notoriously sloppy with their physical presence. We bump into furniture, we step on tails, and we move with a lack of purpose that would be life-threatening in the wild. We think we are being clear when we point or give a command, But our dogs are looking at the micro movements that we aren't even aware we're making. Dogs possess an incredible ability for social cognition, often comparable to that of a human toddler. They have evolved specialized brain regions, similar to those in primates, dedicated specifically to processing human faces and expressions. They are watching the dilation of your pupils, the tightness in your jaw, and the way you shift your weight from one foot to the other. When you give a command like stay, but your mind is already 10 miles away thinking about your dinner plans, your body language betrays your lack of focus. Your dog sees the slight lean in your torso or the wandering of your eyes, and they conclude that the command isn't a priority. This is also why your dog gives you that famous guilty look when you come home to a mess. You think they feel remorse for what they did 3 hours ago? But science has proven that dogs don't experience moral guilt for past actions. What you are actually seeing is a masterful reading of your current intention. Before you even open your mouth to scold them, they have read the tension in your shoulders and the sharp rhythm of your breathing. They are offering appeasement signals, making themselves small and pathetic. Not because they're sorry for the shoe, but because they can see that you have become a threat. They are reacting to your unvarnished anger, proving that they are always 3 steps ahead of your spoken words. Vocal frequency. We often forget that dogs live in a much wider world of sound than we do. Their hearing extends into the ultrasonic range, allowing them to hear the high-pitched hum of electronic devices or the tiny scuttle of an insect behind a wall. But more importantly, they are masters of auditory nuance. They don't just hear the words you say, they hear the frequency, the pitch, and the underlying vibration of your voice. Research using brain imaging has shown that dogs have specific voice response areas in their brains that function almost exactly like our own. They process the emotional content of a sound separately from the meaning of the word. This means that when you use a fake happy voice to mask your irritation, your dog's brain is receiving 2 conflicting signals. They hear the high pitch of happiness, but they detect the low-frequency vibrations of frustration that inevitably leak into a forced tone. Your dog is essentially using a biological sonar to map your internal state. They can even hear the shift in your heart rate and the rhythm of your breathing from across the room. If you are trying to coax your dog into a bath with a sweet voice while your heart is racing with impatience, they can hear the lie. To a dog, your voice is an instrument of safety and consistency. When you use it to deceive, you aren't just failing to get them into the tub. You are telling them that your most important communication tool is no longer reliable. They don't need you to be a cheerleader. They need you to be the calm in the storm. They are listening for the sound of your truth, and when it's missing, the world feels just a little less safe for them. True congruence. This brings us to the most important point of all, the one that explains why your dog is testing you and watching you so closely. In the world of canine psychology, there is a concept known as the secure base effect. It is the same neurological wiring found in human infants that attaches them to their parents. To your dog, you are not just a roommate or a provider. You are the gravity that holds their entire sense of reality together. As long as you're predictable and authentic, your dog's nervous system can remain in a state of rest. They know the rules, they smell the truth, and they trust the anchor. But when you start faking it, when you become inconsistent with your rules, mask your emotions, or project a false sense of authority, the anchor starts to drift. Your dog isn't being stubborn or disobedient when they ignore your fake enthusiasm. They are conducting a safety audit. They are asking, if I can't trust the way you sound or smell right now, how can I trust you to protect me when a real threat appears? The final revelation is this. Your dog does not want a perfect owner. They don't need you to be happy all the time, and they don't need you to be a flawless alpha. What they desperately crave is congruence. They need the person they see to match the person they smell and hear. When you're sad, let yourself be sad. Your dog will likely offer you empathy and tender-hearted presence because they finally understand the situation. When you are tired, be tired. When you are authentic, even in your weakness, you provide your dog with the greatest gift of all, the gift of a predictable world. We often fall into the trap of thinking that our relationship with our dog is built on the commands they obey or the tricks they perform. But the true bond exists in the quiet, unvarnished moments of shared reality. Your dog is the only creature on earth who will never judge your failures, but they are also the only ones who will never allow you to lie to yourself. They are the mirrors of our internal world. When you stop performing and start simply existing with them, something magnificent happens. The tension leaves their body, their ears soften. They finally let their guard down and enter that deep, restorative sleep that only comes when they know their secure base is solid. The next time you feel the urge to fake it for your dog, stop. Take a deep breath. Drop the forced tone and the artificial smile. Just meet them where they are, in the world of instinct, scent, and truth. Because to you, this is just a pet who needs a walk. But to them, you are the absolute center of the universe. And in that universe, there is no higher purpose than being exactly who you are. Your dog doesn't love the version of you that you try to show the world. They love the person they smell beneath the skin. And that, in its purest form, is the only love that ever truly matters.